I bet you're here for the gossip, tea, the drama. Why would a group of 8 girls working together fail? You want to hear the failure story and the drama. And you're gonna get all of that and more, except for it wasn't as dramatic as you may think it was. Why I wanted to make a video for this, because I don't want people making the same mistakes. Also, I thought the views would be kind of good on this video. I was like, meh. And because really I like analyzing why content or business works and why it doesn't. There is so much to learn from a fail, and so that's why I wanted to go through it. I wrote a nice little script for it.
I'll also be here as the editor, interjecting when this person rambles on for too long.
Let's get into it. TOS is a girls group channel. We've done some fun videos together. It's me, Berticus, and Nolopia at the very beginning, talking about how fun it would be to be, you know, sidemen, but girls. Side chicks was one of the ideas, by the way, which I still think is just, it's a fun idea. And it was great. And we're getting girls around us. I went to Sydney, got Tana, the other female that was a part of Click. We wanted to be like sidemen, but we also wanted to get outside of the house from, you know, normal streaming things and do cool shit, make some good memories. And, you know, get really famous and successful like sidemen, whatever. Why did I want to do it specifically? So I'd been through Click and loved the videos we've made. And there was so many women in Melbourne. It just seemed like it just made sense. And I was like, hey, I've learned so much from Click. I wouldn't make the same mistakes again. Oops. To be fair, didn't make the same mistakes, but made new ones. So a big reason also was that I wanted to see more females online just be themselves, unfiltered. I imagined a young female audience watching that were just like, hey, I want to do this.
We're also pretty good friends with the boys who have huge success with their channel, merch, and members.
Those guys are doing it. I kind of want to do it. So there was a lot of early awkwardness. We needed a production team. I ended up finding Rob and Alicia to help us. I had no funding, so I just accepted, hey, that's my money. I'll make the loss on it. It's okay. It's something I'm passionate about. Nolopia also took a loss for that at this point, and Tana would later. Also, with the who's joining was a very awkward situation too.
It was awkward because we were inviting people and the numbers kept growing, and then there was also Liv, who was also part of another girls group. There was just no plan. We just were feeling it out, and then it turned out we're just gonna have an 8-member group. So already off the bat, there was some like crazy chaos and no strict plan. For something this big, need a long-term plan. So I guess I wish I didn't rush into it.
The amount we were spending was just not being covered in return. So I'm like, hey, let's do some members. You know, started to bridge it in, but we just kept sitting at this. Got to a point where I was too stressed out. I was having breakdowns, and I was like, listen, I can't do this anymore the way it is. And we've either got to change what's up or we just end it. And we all pretty amicably said, hey, end it. Not everyone wanted to end it, but no one wanted it enough to full on take over what I was doing. I think they also didn't want to put me under more stress, and they're just like, okay, it's cool, let's end it. Okay, let's film a little bit more together, see how the months go, see how everyone feels about it still in a few months. Nothing had changed, so it was like, okay, cool. We are writing this out to December and letting it end there.
That's kind of a very short, rough timeline when we started, when we made important moves, and then when we decided to end. And now this lady's going to break down the issues one at a time. I'm going to be cutting 15 minutes of her talking.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about problems and what I could have done better. Yay! Okay, so first, money. 80K viewers per average. Hey, is great for a Fortnite YouTube channel. Hey, I'll accept that because that has minimal costs into it. But for a channel that we have to go to locations, hire the locations, equipment, camera people, actors that we want in, it wasn't exactly covering it. Having some 1K members, it helped towards that.
Thank you so much to members for supporting us. We would have ended a lot sooner if we didn't have you guys.
Sponsors weren't coming in. We had one sponsor in total. The other one rejected us for being too spicy. I do think we could have got some more working, but it just wasn't coming in. We needed someone actively trying to get that. I also thought of other ideas to get funding. You know, we started the channel as a React channel. The React channel is very minimal cost, but would have earned us a lot of money, but it was just, we split up into groups. We do React videos. It's pretty minimal cost. And even that, it was just,
I'm going to explain that feeling real quick. It's like I was pushing a really heavy boulder up a hill. Pretty shit, and I didn't want to break my back if no one else was wanting to even like move a little bit. If I was going to just keep pushing it by myself, I was going to break my back. And I like my back.
We needed someone else other than us getting money for us in other revenues. I put the most effort by far into getting finances working, but it was also affecting my business, my YouTube channels, sponsors, and stream all took a hit because of that. financially. And although I am very lucky, thank you guys for your support, that I to even be here is like. And the final thing is that only 3 of 8 of us were putting money in, so it wasn't a split thing. It kind of created a divide, I won't lie.
I haven't mentioned money that Fasfi and Ali earned from some of the sponsors we did for TOS did go back in, so they did contribute in that way. Those 2 girls also did want to contribute financially but never did. So there was some intention. I thought I should mention that before we move on.
But what I would suggest is a big lesson from this whole money thing, so we can move on and stop talking about money, is hiring someone on very early on to take care of those logistics and to set a financial plan up in advance.
To be fair, it could have been one of the other girls that could have been assigned to make this plan, but I was already sorting out most of the other logistics and had my own hires onto things like members that were making us money.
Next thing, the second biggest reason, not the biggest, remember that's coming later, ooh, exciting, was time. I just did not have enough time to put my all into TOS. Like sponsors, my main channel videos, streams, management power videos, wanting to vlog here, just having a life as well as running TOS. Like that is too much, man. And this seemed to be the thing that was taking the most time with the least reward, both on like a mental and just economical level. It was just both. Blech. However, the biggest lesson I did learn from, I guess, was scheduling.
I've learned so much about the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes of bigger videos that I'm like, I've gone up another level.
Another big thing was too many people. 8 people is so many. Too many. Everyone always said that to me, and I was like, I wouldn't kick anyone. That's cringe. But having to sync 8 different schedules is hard. Yeah, Sidemen have 7, but they also have been around for 10 years.
Another solution could have been we could have split up videos, but then how do you make that fair? Some people would not get to do cooler videos. Maybe the thing would be to anyone paying gets to do everything cool. You know, actually, I like that. Maybe that is fine.
Next thing, different work ethics. I think I work a regular amount. Other people just disagree.
She's making me edit this on Christmas, by the way.
I guess it's hard to be someone who's such an active doer, to be with people who are in and out, a bit more chill about things. For me, that was a hard thing to deal with. Why aren't they like actively thinking about ideas or doing research outside of their time? First one, always give edit notes or anything or get things along. Listen, I think I'm great to work with. My employers would agree, I think. I can imagine how I can be difficult, as they were difficult to me. Some people like to do things on their own initiative, and some people like to be told what to do. And some people don't like come in for a while, but when they come in, they're like, oh, we should do this, but then don't follow through. There's a lot of different types of ways people work. Knowing what you work best with is so good to figure out and clearly communicate. I learned so much about organization, and it made me so happy. If you want anything of your dreams to go ahead, give people the time. Don't ask them the time. Give them 2 options. They pick from the 2. Find the most popular, get the others to adjust. Just go with whoever said yes to that one date. Just go with it. And that's it. I think it's nice to be like, hey, when do you want to do this? When do you want to do this? Maybe just decide for them. People can't decide for themselves. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned.
And if they really care about this thing, they'll negotiate to a better date. All I'm saying is people love someone who's clear and decisive. It's hot.
The next thing is kind of like inexperience. Listen, I've been doing YouTube and streaming for 9 years, and to work with people that haven't been doing it as long or haven't been doing YouTube at all, it's a different vibe. Would it have been better to work with people who would establish YouTube channels on a YouTube channel? Maybe not for chemistry, because our chemistry is undeniable, but maybe, yeah, it would have been.
If we had a full group of people who did YouTube before, they would have all known what it's like to research a YouTube idea and a thumbnail and a title, which would have helped a lot.
Theoretically, if we got a group of 8 streamers, why am I trying to make them a YouTube group when I can make them a streaming group that makes streaming, podcasts, games together? Less cost, but more reward for us individually, because we're all trying to bring each other up on the thing we all do, which is streaming. Sorry Tanner. I kind of wish maybe I went down that pathway instead. Streaming, you get feedback straight away. It's very different. It's very like, oh my god, I'm instantly like, awesome, oh my god, chat loves me. Whereas YouTube takes, you need to plan something, then you need to film it, then you need to edit it, then it's finally live, then finally you get feedback for it. It's a completely different thing. Disagreements, well, this is the spicy one. Having different opinions is good, because multiple different people coming together, you're not really supposed to agree on everything, and it also gets you to question why you are doing things. Like if I had a decision and someone disagreed with me, although I'd kind of be like, I don't know about this, it made me realize, hey, this is why I really believe in what I'm doing. Or it made me be like, hey, you're right, let's pivot. I wish I made an environment where people weren't as scared to bring up disagreements. Issues tend to lead to progress. You get annoyed with people, don't get me wrong. Some issues are annoying as hell, but I feel like a lot of issues that are big to some girls were not that big to me. And being someone that was leading the charge, perhaps I overlooked things.
But also, just to defend her a little quick, if she doesn't know, like, if no one's telling her the issue, how is she supposed to know? When people ask about the difference between working with female and males, I think this might be the only thing that I noticed was a difference, was that females tend to be more, tend to not to want to hurt each other as much, so will be less inclined to bring up problem. But however, that in turn can, lead to bottling up and being more hurtful. I don't even know if this is a female or male thing. I know, you have to do a big study on it. I ain't about to do that.
I think when you have some sort of group thing, make sure people are speaking on behalf of themselves, not anyone else. As soon as you start being like, well, listen, this person, and start interpreting like that, that's when things can escalate. So never say like, hey, we believe this, because then it's just like, it's this question of like, what do you mean we?
Because I would think we meant we as a collective, but there's we's within we's.
Another issue is there's groups within groups. People are going to click with people more, clash with people more. It's just a good reminder that there's never bad intent, it's just bad communication. Remind yourself that no one ever means maliciously when you're working in a group. People have different ways to communicate, and the sooner you address that tends to be the better than letting things sit. Another mistake was, I think, no clear leader. I think I was the leader, but I didn't really truly realize I was the leader or needed to be that until a little bit later on.
And for me to be a really good leader, to get TOS to the place it could have gotten to, I would have to sacrifice even more than I already had from my own life, from my own career.
But it is important for there to be a leader, and it's important to be structure. As much as it would be cool to be like, hey, we could be like Sidemen, where one person has a video every so often, you need that person to oversee all the videos to make sure people are keeping track of their videos and making sure they are doing well. Because hey, a lot of people don't have experience with YouTube, so you need that person. And to be honest, it shouldn't have been one of us, it should have been someone else entirely. A leader should have been someone else. Lack of outside help, huge issue, because they've just made no sustainable sense for there to have some girls putting in way more effort than others. The internet doesn't like girls. You might be surprised about this one. But when you're trying to make a group like Sidemen, the boys, Beta Squad, people are already used to it being males in the content. People were so quick to put us down because we were doing Sidemen ideas, because hey, Sidemen ideas are fun. Not every video was a Sidemen idea, but quite a few were, or some were twists on it. And the comments always being like, oh, they copy everything. This is a group that has been around for 10 years, that have done countless videos. It is hard not to do something that they've already done, even if you're not actively looking at their channel. There were a few ideas which we thought of and then later realized that they did it too. But it would have been nicer to see, hey, this is cool. This is what Sidemen would be like if there were girls. I saw none of those types of comments. I was hoping to get those types of comments, but never really got them. I think the solution here would have been to make content that attracts more girls.
I'm not exactly sure what would have been more appealing to girls, but one idea would have been to do more vlog type videos where you follow the day in all of our lives and it's all like cut and split. Or like, for example, one of those would be, we all try different jobs. Someone's a policeman, someone's a garbage collector, someone's a teacher type thing, but it's all cut and you get to see the struggles and the cool things about that. Just an idea, but like we could have gone down a different avenue apart from like challenge-based videos. Just a thought.
The biggest reason as to why I wanted to stop TOS, and that was mental health. Listen, okay? I'm a bitch. My feelings got hurt a lot in the process of TOS. I feel like I was putting a lot of effort in and was often unappreciated. I feel like I was bringing up others and I wasn't getting brought up myself. I was having breakdowns. I was getting jealous of the other girls. I felt shit.
I'm mumbling a little bit because it was embarrassing to admit, but pretty much I go on to talk about how I was jealous of the girls and how much time they could put into their streams, getting so much reward out of it, and here I was stuck with the brunt work and the financial payment of TOS.
I became a bit of a green monster. Now I couldn't give a shit. I'm so happy for them. Get your money, honey. But that's how I felt for a little bit. I wanted to prove to people that a group of girls could work, but it just wasn't working. Like the videos, there wasn't growth. I wasn't really necessarily proud of the videos. Some of them not hitting or didn't have the same thought, and I felt that often when I gave up, because I couldn't manage it all, I gave up video ideas to others. Some of them were executed well and some of them executed badly, depending on who it was. Some people were just naturally better at that sort of stuff. Shouts to Nell for the Silent Library. She killed that one. And like Oasis with Join the Army, and like Fast Food with the Bingo Blind Date. Like there was some really good gems in there, but some other ones I was just like, I'm putting a lot of time and money into them. I want to be really proud of the videos. Marcus saw me get progressively more upset. He would see that jealous side of me, and he's just like, this isn't you. And he was very much right, because girls had no bad intent, but small little things would set me off. I'd be like, why? Why can't I enjoy my vacation in Peru? Why can't I enjoy my time away in Switzerland without having to deal with this? And I just kept having to deal with it. Everyone who knows me closely has been like, this is for the best for you. Thank goodness you're doing it, because you become less a person of yourself. It's not anything of anyone specifically doing. It is just the environment was kind of toxic, and I needed to move on from it. Lessons from this: the mental health spot. If I brought it up how much it was hurting me, how some of the other people were acting, they would have gotten it, they would have understood, they probably would have made changes. Most of the time people are just too involved in their own self to really notice what's going on with you. So you got to realize that, hey, if you want things to change, you've got to say it.
And if you say it and they continue to treat you badly, then they're bastards and I don't want to work with them anyway. How do you know when to give up versus to keep on pushing?
I think a lot of us, we're just like, that hurts a little, let's keep going. I like the pain. And I realized that small little messages when people were writing would anger me. That's when I realized I've got no good emotional control of what's happening in this, what's supposed to be a fun thing. I need to either figure it out or I need to move on from it. Getting angry because of small little comments is not normal.
For some reason, the audio just died for a little bit, so I'm just going to quickly recap. You don't want it to be like that diamond pickaxe meme when he just gives up pickaxing when the diamond's about to hit, but you also don't want to keep pickaxing forever and then there's just never a diamond. It's hard to give up on something for everyone. But I think a good strategy for this is to tell people you want to give up and see their reaction. Put some time, that time that you put into that one thing, use it to put into other things and to see, you know, how you feel about it, to see if it's a good distraction, if you miss it or not. Giving up and admitting failure is so hard to do. It really does suck to fail, because I really wanted to be a part of lifting a lot of other ladies in the industry as well as lifting Australia. And people would be like, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing. The fact that you're leading this thing is awesome. And I hated losing that. But I was losing myself. And I wasn't doing a big enough impact like I wanted to do with the group. We're going to use the wording like we moved on with a bunch of awesome life lessons. So many life lessons that you wouldn't learn without such a failure into the next thing. So we're moving on and moving on up. I wish the best for all the girls. We're all on good terms still. Particular shout out to Nolopia. She kept putting her hands up for briefs. She paid for things. And honestly, she was unrecognized for and unappreciated for being a leader. No doubt, by the girls and by just people, just public perception. She was the number 2 leader, and we wouldn't be as far without her. And another shout out to Tana. Brought us all together to do a podcast and making TikToks, deciding to run it. She also joined in on the payment. Support them because I think they're both going to do some cool shit in the future. As will all the girls, but particularly those two, man. Those two had some initiative. We love that. So overall, little quick summary. Have a structure in place before taking on something with so many moving parts. It's ambitious. It honestly doesn't make sense to be doing more work and the money to be on the same level as others. It really should have been organized structure of, hey, these people deserve more. Straight up. It shouldn't have been any question. Be open about problems. Normally, problems aren't that big of a deal once you're open about it straight away. You just really just discuss it with someone and hear them out. There's a lot of things going on in people's lives. Everyone's going through different something. Always be empathetic. And when starting a YouTube project with so many moving parts, really think about what you're doing and plan for it. Make a plan. And bloody good luck to you. I really want to see a really good, successful, big girl group channel. If you want to know anything more about the specifics or anything like that, come visit me on my Twitch and I can talk about it more specifically. Seriously, I learned like 1,000 things that I would never have learned if I didn't take on TOS. And so I'm so grateful for doing the project, for everyone, for all the girls hopping on board and all the team for also trying to elevate it too. It's a shame it didn't work out and grow to be as big as perhaps we wanted to. But hey, we ran a channel for almost 2 years and it had some banging videos and we should be very proud of ourselves. And it wouldn't have happened without anyone. Without literally anyone. So no hate. No hate to anyone. No weird questions. No going to people's streams and trying to find fights. Okay? That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. We're solid.
Now what's next? I felt so creatively free and so much better. I've been working on cooler streams. I did that 50-hour stream. I've been bigger loser fruit videos. Got a second channel for Fortnite creative maps, which has been so fun to film. Passion of mine because creative scene is so fun for me. My own health and time with family. Glad I got the time from when we decided as a group months ago to when we actually officially declared it, to have the time to prove to you, hey, this is what I can do when I'm not spending so much time in TOS. And I feel like, hey, a lot of cool things have happened in that time. You can feel more at ease about what is next as we enter what I believe is a new golden age of content. I feel so creatively free and I've felt so good the past few months. Like, we've gone up a level. From TOS, we've learned so much that we've gone up a level. And we're going to use that energy and new creative freedom for bigger and better things. So, be happy about it. Because otherwise it's just sad. A girl that has had 2 failing YouTube group channels. That's just too sad to focus on. So we're not going to do that, are we? No, we're not.